Dominic here, bringing another 9th Age battle report. This time we have Orc and Goblins versus the Empire of Sonnstahl. The game type we played was Dawn Assault with Spoils of War as the secondary objective. I'll post my list in the description. My spells for the game were Awaken the Beast and Guile and Fury on my Adept, and then I've got Bewitching Glare, Raven's Wing, Twisted Effigy, and Will-o'-the-Wisp on my Master. For my opponent, he has Altered Sight, Unity and Divergence, Touch the Heart, and Ice and Fire, as well as he has the prayers from the Warrior Priests. Here's a look at the deployment for myself. So I have got the Goblin Raiders, Goblin Rabbles, Behemoth, my General, the BSB unit Ed Bashers with bows and shields, paired weapon veterans, pump wagon, iron orcs. I've got a big brother giant with armed to the teeth. I have goblin rabble with bows and shields with my wizard master in there, a pump wagon, and on the other side of this impassable terrain I have a doom diver. For my opponent, he has some readers, he has some cavalry with picks. These ones had. There is a prelate as well as a marshal in there. He has a unit of crossbows with his wizard master in there, a unit of imperial guard with great swords, and his general, who is also another prelate. He has another unit of knights with lances. This one has his BSB in there. He has the volley gun, a unit of halberdiers, a unit of demigryph knights, another unit of readers back here, and a unit of flagellants back here. After a few drops, I ended up dropping to take first turn. He did a vanguard here, and on the other side I did a small vanguard. But that's what things are looking like as we go turn 1, Orc and Goblins. So I pushed pretty hard. I did a bit of a vanguard with these guys, and then I moved up as well, saving a flee path if he wanted to do a double charge, either from, if he's going in with just the flagellants, I was fine with that, but if he wanted to go in with the flagellants and the demigryphs, he could make it, but I didn't want him to be that close with the demigryphs, so I was planning to flee, and I saved room on my backfield to rally automatically. Everywhere else I'm kind of tentatively pushing up, making a plan to grab these two, and there's not much I can do about the far one because of the Dawn Assault. In my magic phase, I managed to get Twisted Effigy on the volley gun, as well as I got a 2d6 random move on the halberdiers. So this is actually in his turn. He did one charge here with the flagellants, and I actually decided to just flee anyway. There wasn't much need of me having to have that double flee plan out anyway, so I fled. Everybody passes their panics, and they're going to rally automatically. He decides to random move back into his lines. He was too worried about getting, rightfully so, getting stuck into the forest and not being steadfast, and then getting charged by pretty much anything and losing. On this side, he moves up and gets out of arc of the giants. Actually, I think he was out of arc on both of these guys on the giants. And then in magic, he did an altered sight, I believe, and he also did a ice and fire. Now I let the ice and fire go because I knew that with shooting these guys, the pump wagon's going to be dead anyway. I tried to stop the altered sight. He still got it off, but with magic and shooting, he had to put all of those shots and these shots into the pump wagon just in order to kill it. It's kind of lucky for me. The Hellblaster, of course, has got Twisted Effigy and can't shoot. And that's what the table looks like as we're going to go into turn 2 for ONG. So over here, started my turn, I did bring out the netters, and he had placed these readers in front of the behemoth. I declare a charge. He passes his terror, elsewhere, I think that was about it. I moved my lines around on this side. I put the giant in front of the knights with 12 inches for a great weapon on the iron orcs. I reform and, well, swiftly reform to go shoot at the archers, or sorry, the readers. And yeah, the pump wagon kind of goes up, as you see, in not the greatest place, but his halberdiers are turned around right now still. So into the magic phase, we managed to get Twisted Effigy on the volley gun again, and then we also did a Raven's Wing onto the Goblin Rabble and got them out of the flank charge, so there's only one. I did leave them, I think, a 10 overrun into these guys. If you wanted to do it, I was basically just trying to give him some bad options. I did put the attribute twice on his Imperial Guard as well. Into shooting, I did a bunch of damage actually, enough to cause a panic, and they failed and ran to so. And I want to say I hit the crossbows with the Doom Diver, or maybe I didn't. I don't think I did. I don't think I had a good target. I think I shot at the knights and misfired. Over here in combat, I wipe out the readers no problem and make the overrun into the flagellants. And that's the tables looking like as we're going to start turn 2 for Empire of Sonnstahl. So he is going to go for this charge here. He is also going to go the Imperial Guard and these knights into the second pump wagon. That lone reader on the side there, he does rally. And the halberdiers turn around to get back in position essentially. The majority of his unit is out of the forest currently. So yeah, into his magic phase, he does Unity and Divergence to give himself an Aegis over here, and he also does Olor's Blessing to give himself an Aegis over here. But other than that, I think in his shooting, he kills 2 Iron Orcs with the crossbows, and in combat, he does a couple wounds to me. I put all of my attacks with a great weapon onto his prelate, and with that, he passed it a couple with armor saves, and then he passed a couple more with his Aegis from Unity and Divergence, so he only ended up taking 1 wound. Over here, he kills the pump wagon. Both units do an overrun and end up like so. And on this one, I do just a ton of damage to the flagellants, and I think I've knocked him down to about 5 or 6 guys at this point. It is worth noting that I forgot to say, on his turn 2, on the start of his turn 2, he did pick up the token with these knights, and on my turn 2, I did move onto the token with these goblins. So start of my turn, I'm going to grab that one as well and reform to face. My charges, and I actually want to say that I did a war cry turn 3. Yeah, I did a war cry turn 3, just to make sure that these charges made it in. So I went into his knights with lances. We also went into the Imperial Guard with my Iron Orcs. I went in with my Lord on the corner of his remaining flagellants, rallied the giants, and continued to put some other guys up in the way here. Yep. Into magic phase, I think I got Twisted Effigy onto these guys this turn, and I did the Hereditary spell on the Iron Orcs. There wasn't really anything for shooting. In combat, we get rid of the remaining flagellants. The overrun path unfortunately misses these guys, so I just stay put where I was. In this one, he had taken a bunch of wounds in the first combat with the pump wagon. Basically, he didn't kill it outright on the charge, and then all of his Imperial Guard plus his prelates have great weapons. So because of that, it got to do its impact hits and absolutely butchered some of those knights. So yeah, just paired weapon AP1 guys didn't go through that many knights in one turn. I think I killed about 3 mostly with the champion's great weapon attack. But combat, I think I win by 2. He passes his check and sticks around. Over here, I butchered about half of his unit. He butchered about half of mine. He passes his bodyguard check and stays in place. And then we're going to go turn 3 for Empire of Sonnstahl. Oh, wait, no, sorry. I forgot one. These guys, when the Flagellants died, failed a rerollable panic check and fled like so. So that's another huge point right there. We're going to go turn 3 for Empire of Sonnstahl. So he's going to charge in here. His reader that had previously rallied is going to do a long charge into the Doom Diver. Yeah, that one is going to fail. The Demigryph Knights fail a march check and are kind of stuck, doing not much of anything. Over here, he does rally his Halberdiers into the magic phase. I think he did the one prayer that causes some hits to me. He did another, I want to say, Unity and Divergence onto his knights. And the volley gun, because I didn't cast, I didn't get the Twisted Effigy on the volley gun. The volley gun fires in his shooting phase and wipes out the behemoth. Nobody panics, or rather, everybody passes their panic checks. Into his combat, he does break the goblins, but I get away. Sorry, I think I chose to fail that break check, and then end up over here. The center fight, we're still beating up on each other, but I'm winning the grind currently. And over here, his BSB ended up taking a wound. He was down by like 1 or 2, and he still passes his check, and he's sticking around. But that's what the table looks like. Is we're going to start turn 4, Orcs and Goblins. Turn 4, I am on top of the center token here. I pick it up. We do a charge into the Demigryphs with my lord. The giant charges into his knights, and I rally the goblins, reform like so, and reposition the BSB unit, as well as start moving these guys to get in the flank of this BSB. Basically, I don't really have a good chance of killing him. He's got a 1-up, 5-up, I want to say. So, and he's slowly chipping away at my ranks. Yeah, we go into the magic phase. I did Bewitching Glare on the Greatswords, and then I managed to get another Twisted Effigy on his volley gun, which is kind of lucky. Into combat, the giant, I believe he does a bunch of wounds to the knights, but his lord also had a great weapon, and his prelate has a great weapon. So between all of the great weapon attacks, I think I killed some knights, and I killed the prelate this turn with those great weapon attacks. But he does kill me as well. That giant dying caused the goblin Rabble back here to panic, and they fail it. It was rerollable, but only on like a 5 or a 6 or whatever it is. They flee off the table. These guys pass their panic check. And over here, we finally kill the last remaining Imperial Guard model, losing his bodyguard. And we chase the prelate, but he manages to go on the other side of the halberdiers. And I think the pursuit went into the halberdiers as well. I killed the Demigryphs and pivot on the spot. And over here, I think he did a wound to my champion. He still passes that check. I still haven't caused any damage to him. And that's the table looks like. So we're going to start turn 4, Empire of Sonnstahl. So over here, that reader is going to try that charge again. These knights are going to go into the BSB unit, the head bashers. Now, he had some terrible luck this game, And this just goes to show, because the stand and shoot from those, strength 3 no AP archers killed, what is that, 2 knights? Yep. So he does make that charge. He's got basically the marshal and the champion left in that unit. He does rally his general up at the top. I kind of skipped a picture here. In his combat, I kill his champion and he passes his check. I reform on the spot to ranks. Over here, again, he kills the champion this time. I do no damage. He passes his check. And over here, on his turn, I butchered a bunch of guys with paired weapons. He did a bunch of damage to me. He passes his check. And then we go into turn 5 for Orc and Goblins. So, as you see, turn 5 for Orc and Goblins, the Goblin Rabble go into the flank of his BSB. My Lord made a very long charge. I think I needed an 11 on the dice into his Halberdiers to go try and help out. And that was, everything else is pretty much fighting or dead at this point. So into the magic phase, we did Awaken the Beast for +1 res on these guys, as well as we got, actually I think I went +1 strength AP on them, and got scarification on my wizard. My plan there is I'll just challenge him out and try and win by ranks and break him. This is actually the last picture of the game, because what ended up happening is over here I killed the BSB, and because of that these guys do lose this combat. They lose by a couple, and there's no BSB. They fail their check. The Iron Orcs do die. Actually, I believe I had a unit champion with 1 wound left. So half points, but I break him, and at that point he calls the game. Because there's not really too much left to retaliate. This guy, again, we didn't actually roll it, but there was a good chance he was going to lose combat as well. And yeah, like I said, that's the last picture of the game, ending in a big victory for Orc and Goblins, 19-1. It's a really fun game. My opponent did have some bad luck. I didn't really point out all the times, but throughout the game, by about turn 3, we were no longer surprised by terrible dice rolls. It was like, come on, man, the first turn, and then it was just, it got progressively worse. Like I said, it wasn't surprising by turn 3, the bad dice rolls. So anyway, despite that, it was still a fun game. It's been a really long time since I played against Empire of Sonnstahl, so it's really good to get into some battles against them. But that's going to do it for this one. Hope you guys enjoy these battles. Stay tuned for the next one.